Hello, it's Jane. Welcome back. And I'm back with another video. This is going to be the 5 or 6 things I don't miss about Kenya. As I said in my previous video, these are not exactly things I hate about Kenya. Hate is too strong a word. So the first thing I don't miss about Kenya is family. As I said in my previous video, my mom and my brother are still in Kenya and I miss them a lot. I miss that face-to-face connection. But I'm talking about family in terms of the extended families, the aunties and the uncles, the cousins, the people who just show up to your house when they're not invited, or the people who just have, opinions that I don't care for. That is the part of the family I do not care for. The people who just cannot mind their own damn business. That is the family I don't miss. So I've been in UK for a while, and over the time I've weaned off the number of people with my phone number. I've changed my phone a couple of times, and so I'm not as easily reachable as I probably would have been if I were in Kenya, and that gives me a luxury to do whatever I want without having so many eyes looking into my business. And yeah, I don't expect people to be knocking on my door because of the distance. The second thing I don't exactly miss about Kenya, in fact, I do thrive in not having this particular thing, is the societal expectation. So I'll give an example. So I got married at the age of 26 and we had our first child at the age of 32, 33. He's 7 years old and we only have one child. Now, there is a timeline which a few aunties had an issue with, but on the other hand, they would go through my mom, and then my mom would either not tell me or in a while say, oh, whoever was asking. But I don't need to succumb to that societal expectations where people expect you to be married at a certain point in time, and once you're married, they're already asking, oh, when are you going to have children? When you don't have children, are you having issues conceiving? I mean, it's none of your business. I find living in UK, I don't get that. And that might be because I'm quite antisocial or I keep to myself, so I don't have a lot of people looking into my business. But even on my husband's side, they've never asked that question. And I've been able to plan out my life without having to succumb to the pressures of societal expectation. And that was just one example. Oh, the third thing I do not miss about Kenya, and I have to say these are my opinion based on how I've been brought up and my experiences today. And the third thing is opportunities. I do not feel there's as many opportunities in Kenya as there are here. And I feel like, especially for somebody like me, I am 39 years old. I have one child. I live in a one-income household. I feel the opportunities I would have in Kenya are not as many as I have here. So, for instance, I'm currently in uni and I'm able to pay my own uni fees as well as cost of living. And that's because I'm able to take a part-time job. So the part-time job I have, I can pick up the shift I want to work, and if I don't want to work, I don't work. So for instance, if my husband is going for football, then I don't work that weekend, and that's fine. And if he's at home, I can work that weekend. Or if we're going away, I don't have to work that weekend. And I have that luxury because A, my husband earns enough money to be able to take care of the entire household without my income. And B, I have access to a part-time job which I'm able to pick up shifts as I go. And the other thing is that in UK, especially if you're British, you do have access to student finance, and there's a lot of grants and bursaries that are available if you're going to education and you have a child. I will say I don't qualify for most of those, but the opportunities are there, and I feel I would not be able to have access to those if I were in Kenya. My fourth point is, this is going to be very almost petty, but dust and mud. So I still remember in December, January time, it's very dusty because it's very dry, and it's so dry, the grass dries out, and it's just dusty and it's just coughing up because of the dust. And then in the rainy season, it's very muddy. I do not miss that. And I in particular bring that point up today is because we've just come from the Cotswolds today, and we were hiking yesterday, and it was quite muddy, and I was around the farms we were walking, and I was telling my husband, this is so very Kenyan, where you have to wear your wellies on, and he was like, but you know, he was struggling to understand the concept because he's never been to Kenya in the rainy season. So that's why I said I do not miss that. It's quite a petty point, but it's just because I remember it from yesterday. The final point, which is a minute one, is house help. In my previous video, I said things I miss about Kenya's house helps, but I did explain I never have had a house help. But I think the issue with house helps is that, in my perception, is that when you have house helps, the house help does a lot of work or a lot of time with the children. I don't have a house help here, so I know when my son wakes up, I know what he has for breakfast, I know what he doesn't like for breakfast. In fact, my son does not like to have a breakfast at all. He'll have a biscuit. I know what he wears for his clothes. I know how he wears for his clothes. For instance, when we trained him how to wear his clothes, we would have to literally have the clothes on the floor, starting with socks, his underpants, his t-shirt, his pants, and then his sweater, and he would kind of wear that in a line. He still does wear his clothes like that. And so I know that about my child. So I also know he's particular about his socks, and I know he's particular about his underpants. So when I'm going to shop, I will not go buy underpants as in the Y-fronts, because he will not wear that. He wears boxers, even though he's 7. He's very particular about these things. He's very particular about what t-shirt he can wear inside of another one if it's a cold day, and what he will not. And I feel like if you have a house help, you miss out on those small details. And the other thing is that when you have a house help, as good as they are, there's a privacy element of it. There are people who they know what you do, and as a result, they might tell other people. And whilst it's not a big thing, I find like I am so accustomed to my own privacy, I do not want to let go of that, if that makes sense. I would rather do everything for myself, because I've always done it for myself, than get a house help and then get that privacy out. Because I think I am a private person. I think it's because that's what's always been afforded to me as an adult since I had my own household. The other thing is, we do all the cooking so for ourselves. Well, sometimes we'll do a takeaway or we'll do a ready meal, and I as the person who goes shopping and the person who cooks, well, my husband does most of the cooking, we can control how our family eats, and that's to do with obesity in terms of the salt intake or how much sugar my child eats. I'm in full control, well, not in full, but in a whole lot more control than if there was a house help in the household. If my child says they're not going to be eating something, you can make them eat it by not providing whatever else they want, even though they cry for it. And I feel like a house help might succumb to that. That's just my own perception. But anyway, those are the 5 things, or maybe the 6 things, I do not miss about Kenya. So I'm going to be doing another video regarding the things I absolutely love or enjoy about being in UK. Yeah, so keep a lookout for that, and thank you for watching.